Toman or Ryle, or maybe Iranian or Persian. El Goli or Shar Goli. Welcome to Iran, a country full of contrasts and wonders that can be both confusing and fascinating for non-Iranians. Of course, this has nothing to do with the topic of the video. It's just to break the ice and warm you up for the rest of the video. It's a crisp autumn morning, with cool, fresh air and the first rays of the enthusiastic sun. Today, I've come to El Goli, or Shar Goli in Tabriz, to capture this beautiful place from a different perspective for you. The park is full of people starting their morning with a walk and some exercise. The sound of footsteps on fallen leaves, the gentle breeze, and the clean air all reflect the peace and simplicity of everyday life, something rarely seen in the media. One of the fascinating aspects of El Goli is its historical background. This park and its large pool were originally built as a recreational spot for the Safavid kings and have seen many changes over time. Today, El Goli is one of the iconic landmarks of Tabriz, attracting not only locals but also domestic and foreign tourists. This mix of history and nature creates a unique atmosphere, reminding us of the deep connection Iranians have with their heritage. In addition to its beauty, El Goli symbolizes one of the prominent traits of Iranians: hospitality. While walking through the park, you might meet people who invite you for a tea or are eager to chat with you. This type of social interaction highlights the Iranian people's fondness for establishing warm connections with others. Even though these interactions might be less common in big cities, they remain rooted and often surface in public spaces like parks and markets. Behind these serene moments, there's a broader reality that often goes unnoticed. Life in Iran continues, away from the media's brainwashing propaganda that mostly portrays political and dramatic news. As you can see, the people of this city start their day with enthusiasm and hope, making the most of public spaces alongside one another. Morning exercises, often done in groups, are a way of socializing. These social interactions help people maintain better mental and emotional well-being. However, the heavy reliance on cars in major cities like Tabriz diminishes the effectiveness of these physical activities. Exercise should become part of daily life, such as walking or biking to work, but infrastructure and heavy traffic make this idea challenging. Iran is generally a country where the harmony between modern and traditional life is vividly visible. On one side of the park, you'll see people engaged with modern technology like smartphones, and on the other side, groups enjoying traditional pastimes and games. This blend of tradition and modernity is one of the things that sets Iran apart from many other countries. In rural areas or smaller cities, people's daily lives are still intertwined with physical activities like farming and livestock tending. But in larger cities, parks and public spaces like Goli offer spaces for all ages and genders to exercise. Something that's gradually becoming part of everyday culture in smaller cities as well. When we look at the social aspect of exercise, it's interesting to note that in Iran, it's easier to strike up conversations with strangers compared to some other countries. Short exchanges and greetings are a regular part of daily life here. In contrast, in some other countries, even in small apartment communities, people might not be inclined to get to know their neighbors. In Iran, however, before the widespread rise of apartment living, neighbors had close relationships, almost like extended family. Although in big cities these ties may have weakened, compared to many other societies, the sense of community and neighborhood in Iran remains strong. As you can see in the footage, people often exercise in groups in par. It's not easy to find individuals who are alone, even in a city like Tabriz, which welcomes many migrants from different provinces. In cities with high migration rates, the constant demographic changes, especially in neighborhoods and homes, can hinder the formation of traditional neighborly bonds. Another interesting point to note is that in other Asian countries, like Thailand, you can also observe similar group exercises, from Zumba in the evenings to other collective activities. From the perspective of Turkish tourists, Iran has more parks and green spaces than Turkey. With the growing number of shopping centers and commercial complexes in Iran, we hope that the creation of green spaces and parks will continue to be prioritized, providing more public spaces rather than focusing solely on commercial projects. Though Iran is known as a consumer-driven society, many Iranians spend their foreign trips visiting shopping centers. However, with the rise of social media and the sharing of travel and nature experiences, the next generation of Iranians has the potential to become more creative and productive rather than solely consumerist. As evident in the footage, many women in the park are actively exercising and taking walks. Following the revolution, women's sports were largely sidelined, and it took years for women to regain visibility in sports. However, with a resurgence in chess, Iranian women began to make their mark, bringing pride to the nation. In recent decades, women's sports in Iran have gained momentum, with active participation in various individual and team disciplines, even achieving Olympic medals. Although chess is not a physical sport, it played a significant role in the comeback of Iranian women in athletics. Today, women are also making strides in football, with the Women's League showing remarkable activity. However, challenges remain regarding attire regulations and women's presence in football stadiums. While they have the opportunity to attend national volleyball matches, the barriers to accessing football events highlight the ongoing struggle for equality in sports. When it comes to dressing as a team or athletes, female athletes in Iran often face certain guidelines and expectations. Their attire must reflect cultural norms, balancing modesty with the need for comfort and mobility. This balance is essential as they strive to excel in their respective sports. Despite the restrictions on women attending football matches, female fans have been able to support their teams in national volleyball games, showcasing a paradox where women can cheer for their favorite teams in one sport while still facing obstacles in another. The increasing presence of women in sports, whether as athletes or fans, is slowly reshaping the narrative and advocating for greater acceptance and inclusivity in various sporting events. It's a journey toward a more equitable environment, where all individuals can enjoy and participate in sports without barriers. Iran has always welcomed female tourist cyclists and motorcyclists. The presence of these female adventurers contributes to a broader understanding and acceptance of women in sports and outdoor activities, encouraging local communities to embrace change.
این صدای فوریه روغن سرخ کردنی بهار حماس اگه مثل من باز نشسته